Hi everyone, I hope you're doing good. Welcome back to the second episode in the Metallica 40 series. In this video we're going to be analysing the Unforgiven Trilogy. Now, the Unforgiven is a very special and unique set of songs. I don't believe there's three different versions of the same song. I don't believe there's anything like this has ever been in music. The only things that I can think of are sort of similar is Megadeth remaking A Tour Le Monde on United Abominations, and also songs by bands and artists that are in multiple parts, such as Suicide Note by Pantera is in 2 parts. But it isn't the same as The Unforgiven. No one has created a trilogy of songs on 3 different albums over a 17-year period like The Unforgiven. I wouldn't necessarily say that they are the best Metallica songs, because there's way better out there than The Unforgiven, but they are definitely the most unique songs that they've ever written, and they're definitely worth talking about in a video like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the songs, the structure, the theory, the story behind them, and analyse what makes this trilogy of songs so great and so special. I got this idea from watching a Rick Beato video, because he does a series on his YouTube channel called What Makes This Song Great, and also Andriy Vasylenko done a video all about the Unforgiven trilogy, and I kind of got the idea from that. And maybe this is going to be an idea that I could elaborate on in the future if it does well, and if people like this idea of analysing songs and going through songs. Yeah, but before we get into the thing, if you're new and you like the stuff that I'm making, please drop me a sub, because it really helps me out. Thanks to all of those who've subbed already and watching my videos. And if you go on to like this video, drop it a like. Now let's get straight into this. So we're going to start with the Unforgiven 1. Come out in 1991. It was on the Black Album, or the self-titled album, in 1991, written by James Hetfield, Lars Ulrich and Kirk Hammett. It was the 4th ballad that they wrote at the time, following 3 previous on the previous albums: Fade to Black on Ride the Lightning, Welcome Home Sanitarium on Master of Puppets, and One on Justice for All. During the writing process of the Black Album, they wanted to write something a little bit different to a power ballad. They wrote 2, but we're not going to talk about the other one. They changed the normal structure for a traditional power ballad with this song. We'll go into the theory and the structure later. The song theme deals with the struggle of the individual against the efforts of those who subjugate him. The horn intro is from the Unforgiven spaghetti western film, and it also uses acoustic guitars for the intro and the chorus, and it uses strings as well. Now we're gonna go into the song structure. So this is gonna be the playthrough for the Unforgiven 1. I'm using my live amp for this. The key for the song is in A minor in standard tuning, and let's just get on with the intro. The intro and the choruses are done on acoustic guitar, but I can't be bothered to get mine out, so I'll just use my clean tone to do the intro. Everyone knows the Unforgiven, so this probably won't take too long to do this. And then Kirk does his. Over the top. And then it goes into the chorus riff, which is basically an A minor, a C, G, and then an E minor. And then an A minor, C, G, E. Yeah, but James sort of finger picks it all, and it sounds a little bit like this. Yep, so that's basically the chorus right there. And then it goes into the distorted bit, which is basically an A minor, an E minor, a D, and then an A again. But I think Kirk wrote this. And also, I should add that that chorus riff is basically a hybrid of Fade to Black and To Live Is To Die as well. But anyway, let's get into the verse now. It goes something a little bit like this. And then it does the and then it goes back into the chorus, and then it does all that again. Verse, chorus, and then it does this for the guitar solo. The start of the guitar solo is that. And then for the when it goes distorted, it's just the chords A, E, D, and A minor again. But now let's see if I can attempt the solo first time. Yep, that's effectively the guitar solo, pretty much, that Kirk plays. And then it goes into the chorus again, and then the outro bit is effectively them chords again. A minor, C, G, E minor. And then it goes E for the last one there. And then at the end, Kirk just does his bit. And yeah, that's basically the Unforgiven I. Now we're going to move on to the Unforgiven II. This come out in 1997 on the Reload album, although it was recorded in 1996. Again, written by James, Lars and Kirk. The song structure mirrors the first Unforgiven in terms of chord progression and the lyrical themes, although the actual structure of the song is the other way round. They'd already written all the tracks for Load and Reload before writing this song, but they added it afterwards because they didn't feel like they had a strong enough number 4 ballad. So that was how they wrote the Unforgiven II. The same horn intro is used, but the acoustic guitar and the strings are gone. He just plays clean. Now we're going to go through the song structure and a playthrough of the track. Now we're going to do the playthrough of the Unforgiven II. Now the Unforgiven II starts with the horn again and then goes straight into distorted. It goes straight into the octave sort of chord. It sounds like it's octave. I'm not sure if that's 100% correct, but yeah. And also I'll just mention that it's actually in the flat tuning, but I'm going to do it in standard tuning because I don't want to change my guitar to flat tuning just for this song. So really it's in A minor, but it's flat. It's half a step down. So yeah. But let's just get on with it. This is the intro riff. That's effectively it. And then it goes straight to clean after that, and this is like the sort of verse riff, which is effectively the same as the Unforgiven sort of chorus. A minor, C, G, E minor, effectively. But James plays it slightly different. It's almost like he gives it like a country and western style with all the bends, but I didn't know this. He actually plays a B bender guitar. So he presses like this button somewhere around here and it bends the B string. So when he does his thing, it actually is, he's just pressing this button instead of... But you can just about play it like this. I wouldn't really recommend it. I'd just maybe not do something like that instead of trying to bend it. But right, here we go. So anyway, yeah, this is sort of how it's kind of supposed to sound like. And then it goes into the first chorus and it's just them chords. And then it does the octave riff again, and then it does the second verse. And at the end of the second verse, and end of the third verse as well, there's like this little break at the end when it goes into the E, and then it goes into this D minor, and then F, and G, F, and then something like, yeah, so it goes like... And then it goes into the chorus, which is distorted. And it's effectively an A minor, a G, and then a C. And it sounds a little like this. But anyway, if you know the song, you know how it sounds like, but anyway, let's just do it. Yeah, and then it goes into verse 3, break, or bridge, I think it's more of a bridge than a break, chorus again, and then it goes into the guitar solo. Now for the solo, it's not particularly a great solo, but yeah, here goes. and then after that it does the octave chord again, and then it goes into the sort of half verse with the bridge, and then it does the chorus again, and then at the end of the chorus it does like this A, B sort of chord, and then a C and a D, and then A, and then a G chord. It sounds a bit like this. And then right at the end of the song, it goes from an A minor into an A major. And that's effectively the Unforgiven II. Now we're going to move on to the Unforgiven III. Now this came out in 2008 on the Death Magnetic album, and it was written by James Lars Kirk and Rob Trujillo. It's similar structure-wise to the first one, having a slow intro and choruses with distorted verses. It doesn't feature the line "what I felt, what I've known" in the chorus, unlike the other two, which do. And also the horn isn't present in the intro, being replaced by piano and orchestral arrangements that was written and created by David Campbell. James Hetfield played the piano intro, and the intro uses the same 4 chords as the Unforgiven 1 and 2, but it's in a key of E minor instead of A minor. The song is the continuation of the same storyline about sin, consequence, forgiveness and unforgiveness. Musically, this is very different to the other two, despite having the same structure as the first one. But also, James himself has stated that it's his favourite out of the 3. This is also the only Unforgiven that is not at the number 4 spot on the album, because they already had The Day That Never Comes, and they thought that was a stronger candidate for number 4. Although the song is actually the 4th from last on that album. Now, once again, we're going to have a look at the song structure and theory and the playthrough of the song. Now we're going to go through the Unforgiven III. This is probably the least well known out of the 3, but there isn't that much to it. This is the only Unforgiven to not be in A minor. It's in E minor, back in standard tuning, and yeah, now we're going to go through the intro, which is done on piano, but you can play it on guitar, just about. It sounds a little bit like this. Or something like that. They do it twice, and then it goes into the chorus riff, which goes a bit like this. Which is effectively E, C, B. And then the intro is effectively the Unforgiven original chorus chords. But yeah. Now it goes into the heavy bit for the verse, which is also used for the guitar solo as well, and that is effectively just a riff in E minor, and it goes a little like this. And then after that it does another riff. It does like an E, C, D, G, and then like this chromatic chord, and that's also part of the verse and the guitar solo, and it goes a bit like this. And then it goes into the chorus, which is the same bit that we just did. And then it does another verse, another chorus, and then it goes into the break just before the guitar solo. And it's effectively the same, similar thing to the chorus riff, but a little bit different, little variation on it. And this is how it goes. Something like that, and it builds up and builds up, and then it goes heavy towards the end just before the guitar solo, so it goes a bit like this. And then it goes into the guitar solo, which I think's the best and the trickiest one out of the three. So let's see if we can give it a go. And then after that, it does the chorus riff again, and then that's it. That's pretty much the song. So there we go. Now we're just gonna finish off with my final thoughts on the Unforgiven trilogy. I like the trilogy. I like the Unforgiven. I like all three songs. The trilogy reflects on the stages in James's life during the times when they wrote them. So they have a special realism to them, which is what I like. My favourite has to be the first one though, and then the third one, then the second one. I love how the first one goes, the structure is really cool, even though there isn't as much going on as for the other two, but for me that just proves that a good song doesn't have to be technical, it can just be a really well put together song, which I think it is, and I think Bob Rock had a lot of influence on that. The solo is really, really cool, and all of it just fits really nicely together. I love the lyrics. I can relate to them the most out of all three songs. The first one I can relate to lyrically the most. The first one is like the fresh, young, brand new, raw part of the trilogy. I think James was about 23, I think, when they wrote that. So he had a lot of angst and a lot of anger to get out with that song, and that's pretty much what that song is. Really sort of young, fresh, with a lot of angst and a lot of stuff to get out. The second one I do like, but not as much as the other two. I think it has the most going on in terms of the verses. The verses change almost every time, and there's a little bit more going on. But the rest of the song just isn't quite as good. The solo sounds a bit half-assed and a bit rushed. But I still think the song is pretty cool. It works really well, and it all fits pretty good together. And yeah, it's structurally it just mirrors the first one really well. It carries on the story, which is cool, and it's the slightly older version. It's like the slightly older, more mellow middle part of the whole story. It's almost like it's trying to make amends for the first part. It's kind of got a bit older, and it's it's had that whole stage in his life, and now he's sort of looking at that and trying to make amends and trying to become better. And as for the third one, I think it's quite underrated, that song. It might be to do with the album it's on, although I think Death Magnetic is an underrated album as a whole. But the song is really cool, some really great riffs. I think it's got the best solo out of the three on it. I really like the orchestral parts. It adds something a little extra to the song. And the S&M 2 version of the song is absolutely fantastic. If you haven't seen it, go and have a look at it because it's brilliant. James just sings on his own and the orchestra just plays the whole song. It's great. This one is the more mature and wise of the three, a bit more reflective, as it's sort of towards the end of the trilogy. It's perfect end to the trilogy. It sort of is a bit more older, wiser, and sort of is reflecting back on his life, which is really cool. Whether this is the end of the story, who knows? They might do another one. But like I said earlier, it's a concept that no one has ever done before, and I think it's an excellent idea. The Unforgiven Trilogy is definitely the most unique set of songs, and will always be one of a kind. Or should I say three of a kind, because there's three. So that has been this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'd love to know what your favourite Unforgiven is out of the three, and whether you think they'll ever do an Unforgiven 4, maybe on the next album, or will they just keep it as a trilogy? And also, what do you think of this video style idea? Whether you want to see any more in the future, let me know, because I'd love to do more, because I've really enjoyed making this one. And all feedback and comments are much appreciated, and I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, keep it metal.